Welcome back to Great Day Washington. In 2008, the sudden death of TV news legend Tim Russert sent shockwaves through our country. The former Meet the Press moderator was a beloved fixture in all of our homes.
That's right, and it forced his wife and his son Luke into a life without the man that they loved. Luke delivered the eulogy at his dad's memorial, which catapulted his career, and now in his new memoir, Look for Me There, Luke describes grieving his father while trying to find his own journey out of his father's shadow. Luke joins us now, Emmy-winning journalist Luke Russert.
Thank you so much
so
for
good
having
to have
me.
you here.
Thanks for being
Great
here.
couch. Love to be here.
We know DC is home for you.
Yeah.
How you've been on a whirlwind with
Sure.
this book tour. What has it been like, just kind of talking about this journey of yours?
Well, it's a very personal inward journey that I did over many external places around the world. But now that it's been out in the public for a week, I've just been overwhelmed with the notes I've gotten. And a lot of people have said, you know, I've had trouble processing grief, and I read your book and it's helped me out a little bit. It's made me feel a little bit less lost. From all age ranges. I've had some people who are very young reach out to me. I had one guy who's 78 years old. He goes, I've been trying to process my father's death for over 50 years, and this really helped me out. So that was the whole reason why I wanted to write the book, was to explain my own life and how I had a dream job, everything was going great, and I turned 30 and I felt something was missing, something was off. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And what I realized through writing the book is that I was doing two things. I was looking for something, which was ultimately an acceptance of, hey, Dad, I'm not exactly like you. I can't manage this legacy perfectly for so long. And I was also outrunning something. And what I was outrunning was grief. And grief is such a difficult thing. And we all go on our own journeys with it. And we all have a very personal journey with it. And I chose to share mine, and I'm just so excited it's helped out a lot of people.
When I first moved here to DC, I saw you on, there was a political campaign going on. We were at the same event. And the next thing you know, you're gone. You're off traveling, what, 65 different countries?
Yes.
What made you just suddenly say, I've got to step away?
I think I got to that place where I didn't know, what am I doing here? Who am I independent of my last name? Who am I independent of my beautiful hometown? Who am I independent of this DC political bubble? And I went out and I started traveling. It was only going to be about 6 months. It ended up being 3 years, because when I was traveling and I was stripped away from the comforts of my home, I started to have to listen to those voices in my head. I had to face the man in the mirror. And those are the difficult questions of, who are you independent of your last name, but also, what do you want? Because you've been on this hamster wheel, you've been trying to make other people happy, you've been trying to carry the load that you think your family and your friends want you to do, but what do you actually want to do yourself? And I was so thankful to get that opportunity through travel, and I couldn't have done it any other way.
And you were able to travel thanks to the insurance policy from your dad, and then with the money that you had saved up. But you got to do some of this with your mom too, because you talk about in the book the close relationship you had with your father, and a little tumultuous relationship you may have had with your mother. What was it like, kind of rebonding with her?
I got to know and understand my mother as a human, because for so many years it was always Mom. And then when I started traveling with her one-on-one, it wasn't until I was 31 years old when I did that. I went on countless trips with Dad. We'd go to spring training games, we'd go to ball games, we would travel around, you know, the country together. First time I do a trip with Mom, it's abroad. And she was a Peace Corps volunteer in the early 1960s. She did the Peace Corps because at that time opportunities for women were very limited. It was to be a teacher, be a nurse. She wanted adventure. So I see her in Latin America, and I just see how she's a trailblazer. And she had said to me for so many years, the only way you can really measure yourself is measure yourself up against the world. And I ignored that advice. And then I went and traveled with her, and I saw it, and I go, oh, I get why she was so hard on me all those years. It's because she had to work so hard for herself, and she had to be so tough when she was out in the world, and was just trying to instill that in her only son. And so I grew to really appreciate her. But you touch on something. It is hard to write about your family dynamics honestly. But she said it was a good book. So
good. It is a great book,
Thank
Luke.
you.
And you are so open and honest just about living under the name Russert and your journey. So we appreciate you sharing it with us. Your dad would be so proud.
Oh, you're very kind. Thanks so much for having me on, and it's wonderful to be home.
Yes.
Thank you for
All right, Luke's book, Look for Me There, is available now.